Hello and welcome to part 10 of my Hogwarts MOC series. Kind of crazy that I've managed to make it to 10 videos already in this series. Nothing, unfortunately, particularly special or celebratory about this episode, and that's mostly because I was expecting to do something a little different, but unfortunately, due to the current situation that we're all still living in, the delivery of that did not happen. I was expecting to be able to show you some changes that I was going to be able to make in my Lego room, but a well-known flat pack furniture retailer unfortunately had to cancel my delivery. They were very good about it. It's all been rescheduled, so hopefully I'll bring you that video at some point in the future. So instead today we're going to be taking a look at the next part of Hogwarts that I have created, and that is the Hogwarts dungeons. So as with last week's video, we're starting off with something that's quite familiar, and that is the Grand Staircase Tower. Just give you a reminder of how that looks, all the way from the base, which is new, all the way up to the top just there. Nothing else has changed about the tower itself, but as you might be able to see, the rockwork is new. I pointed that out in my second overview video, and we got a brief glimpse of what's inside there in the last video that I did on the potions classroom. So we'll take a look at what's hiding behind that rockwork and see the latest addition to my Hogwarts castle. So I've taken the Grand Staircase Tower off the top, and you can now see what's down inside there. So I've called this section the dungeons, mainly because I couldn't think of the correct name for it, and that's because it's an area that I've invented. The struggle with this is that I wanted to fill up the space underneath the tower, but actually the space behind this wall here, which is actually inside some of the big ugly rock pieces, is not really that usable. Mostly because I wanted to have the light bluish grey walls inside, but also because it is a little bit weak structurally. If you actually look underneath, it's made up of lots of different plates and wedge plates, which don't make for the most stable structure, and in actual fact, when it's just its own thing, it's a little bit weak, which is another reason why I decided to go against the idea of having this be separatable. But when it's all put together, it actually works really well, so I think I'm happy to keep it like that. It's just not very easy to get light in there, so I've taken it off so we can see everything a little bit better. The way I'm looking at this is as a sort of antechamber or lobby for the rest of the underground parts of Hogwarts, at least in this section, and that's partly because of its awkward shape, as I mentioned previously, and partly because I felt like a good place to divide between the light bluish grey here and the tan, which is what the kitchens and the Hufflepuff common room, which are off this way underneath the Great Hall and the courtyard, that's the colour they're going to be. I did toy with the idea of making the whole lower level, the whole kind of dungeon level, into light bluish grey, but I just figured that worked for the Slytherin parts, and for the rest of it, it needed something a little bit warmer. Coming down to more of a minifigure's eye view, you can see a few more details. So this side matches with the rest of the dungeon, so the potions classroom, which extends along here. So I've just continued the arches along, a little bit more simplified, and kept with this idea of the lights. What I've also done is put in one of the Hogwarts braziers inside there. I've swapped the colours out, so this one is in light and dark grey rather than tan and dark tan, and I think that really works. You can get a good view of it through here. Ignore the little dial pattern. I just needed a brick with the studs on the side for holding that picture up, and that was the one that I had in my collection. Normally you can't see it. What I've done behind there is just create a very simple stained glass window. So I'll rotate that round. It's the easiest thing you can possibly do. I was actually inspired by the 2010 Hogwarts castle, which had a similar pattern but in different colours, and I've just done it in the Slytherin colours of green and, well, it's supposed to be silver, but I decided to just go for trans clear. Just here is where the divide happens between the light bluish grey and the tan. Originally, I had a different arch piece just here that was in light bluish grey. In fact, it was the identical piece that I've used at the back of Snape's potions classroom. I thought it was a good use of that piece, but when I decided to change this area to tan, I figured I'd just go for a simple arch, and I've changed the colours out in the background as well. You'll be able to see I've created another one of my portraits. There's nobody in there just yet, and in fact it's a bit dark, so hopefully I'll be able to light those in future. But there is space behind there if I can just move the entire thing. Plenty of space behind there for a minifigure when I do decide to put one in. You can see again just how flimsy this section is. It's only connected by one hinge at the bottom there. Another detail, as I previously mentioned, is that painting on the back there, and that is taken from the Potions Classroom book again, the Hogwarts Moment set. Again, this is just falling apart in my hands without it all being connected together. So I just cut a sticker up and put it onto a 2x3 tile. And then at the back, I've included another piece of that Potions Classroom set, which is just the ornamental detail. And the reason I decided to go for that was just, it was a nice way of filling up that wall at the back, and otherwise I wasn't going to be able to use that anywhere really. Well, I may move it in the future and put it in the Slytherin common room, but for the moment I'm pretty happy with it where it is. Speaking of the Slytherin common room, the idea in the future will be to have it extend off this way underneath the courtyard that goes around the back of the building here. That's not something that I'm planning on building anytime soon, so we're just going to have to wait and see what space is available before I go ahead and plan that. Incidentally, I'm also going to do the Gryffindor common room in the same place because that is where Gryffindor Tower is canonically situated. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the Grand Staircase Tower back on top, and then we'll pop it next to the Potions Classroom and just take another look at how that all flows through together. And here it is back in place, so hopefully there's enough light getting in through there so you can see all the details that we've just shown you, not if I get in the way. So you can see how you lead straight through from the Potions Classroom and then straight into the little antechamber bit there, and then if we come round the corner you can see the transition of where it goes back into regular tan. So originally the light bluish grey continued all the way across to here, but I thought then it was a little bit of a weird change between the light bluish grey and then the tan of the kitchens. Incidentally, when I do get round to building the kitchens, which I have designed, this will all link up and these arches won't be right in the middle of the corridor, but that is for a future video. So thank you once again for watching this video. Very grateful to all the support and comments from people, even now with my slightly reduced schedule of uploading videos. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. If you have enjoyed this, then please drop a like down below, subscribe to my channel for future installments, and I will see you next time. Bye.